Thank you. I'm Jonathan Williams, President and CEO of the nonprofit organization that is part of the team that plans and oversees LA Fleet Week. I also run the Battleship Iowa and National Museum of the Surface Navy. That's my primary objective. We're excited to welcome the men and women of all branches of our armed forces to LA Fleet Week 2024. For the first time in 13 years, a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier is part of Southern California's largest Memorial Day weekend event. How ironic that it's America's favorite carrier, the USS Vinson, visiting America's port, the Port of Los Angeles, bringing it all together in Los Angeles. We invite you to attend one of the numerous events occurring throughout Los Angeles, culminating with the festival and ship tours right here on the LA waterfront at the Port of Los Angeles and San Pedro. This activity would not be possible without the numerous people and organizations that make it possible, but especially the community and the core planning team. We can be confident that the city of Los Angeles is better prepared because of our efforts. As the world faces some of the largest challenges to freedom of the seas, we can be confident that our sea services are prepared to face the threat, and Americans have a face to those safeguarding it. Join me this week in experiencing Los Angeles Fleet Week, and make sure you share your favorite highlights and tag our social media at Pound LA Fleet Week. So our first speaker is the Los Angeles Deputy Mayor of Infrastructure, where he leads Mayor Bass's infrastructure, policy, and alignment of public works and transportation initiatives. Deputy Mayor Winston's career spans law, architecture, and public service, which collectively have shaped a career focused on advancing equitable, sustainable development. Please join me in welcoming Deputy Mayor Randall Winston.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Randall Winston, and I serve as the Deputy Mayor of Infrastructure for Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. It is an honor and a pleasure to be aboard the USS Vinson, a vessel rich in history as we continue honoring the legacy of Los Angeles Fleet Week. You know, this week, our opportunity is to continue learning about the incredible vessels that protect our shores. As a Judge Advocate General in the Army National Guard, it's a particularly special honor to me to join in on the celebration welcoming our service members back. You know, for the last 7 years, the Los Angeles Fleet Week Foundation and many of those behind me have been dedicated to supporting and advancing the mission of the annual LA Fleet Week event. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the families throughout Los Angeles who have loved ones at sea or serving throughout the world. Know that our city is grateful for the sacrifices that you are making as well. Once again, thank you to all the service members and veterans with us today. Throughout Fleet Week, I encourage everyone to take a moment to interact with our visiting service members and express your gratitude for their service. It is a pleasure to be here.
Welcome to the Christina Silva Show. Today we're going to be educating our veterans live about dual role play, not only government, but in military service, and your background proves that you can do both.
Absolutely. So, Randall Winston, in my civilian life, I'm Deputy Mayor of Infrastructure here for the city of Los Angeles, overseeing the public right-of-way, transportation, and our regional transportation here at LA Metro. Once a month, I serve as a lieutenant in the California Army National Guard, Judge Advocate General, Statute Advocate. Recently commissioned, actually, as an officer in December of 2023. So, honored to serve, honored to be here, and doing my part.
You sure did, and on the podium you explained how important 7 years of Fleet Week recurrences are necessary to educate our civilians about what we do in our camis. And in the Marine Corps, being in your camis creates a lifetime of pride and loyalty to our nation's patriotism and protections. And our Navy does that on this very flight line.
Being in the presence of this incredible vessel, so much impressive just sort of technology, sailors, our service members, and this week is about that. And you know, again, it's all right now. What a special opportunity and moment of exchange, celebration.
We want to know about Los Angeles and to thank you for all the veterans initiatives and military movements, trying to clean up our city and learning that the port is part of Los Angeles.
Yes.
It's like such a big job. Educating our public in closing about all that's being done to help Los Angelinos really know all that Los Angeles has and how concerned we are about improving each and every day.
Absolutely. When Mayor Bass took office just over a year ago, we knew we inherited some pretty difficult times coming out of COVID, right? Where folks were getting used to a completely different way of working, living, recreating. We saw increased challenges on our streets, the cleanliness of our public right-of-way, and from day one, this mayor has been added. She launched Inside Safe, a multifaceted operation to get folks off the streets and into homes, get people housed, and get them the care that they need to stay off of the streets. We've also launched a bevy of cleaning initiatives for our public right-of-way, taking it neighborhood by neighborhood, street by street. It will take time. We recognize and appreciate the fact that change might not happen overnight, but week by week, month by month, we will and are locking arms with our county partners, our state, federal partners, those throughout the region to clean our streets and make our neighborhoods more livable, more walkable, and our communities stronger.
Most definitely, deep in the heart of the City of Angels, to the port and on the flight line at the USS Vinson in San Pedro, I'm Christina Silva with our Deputy Mayor taking time as a lieutenant and a citizen to give you a welcome to Los Angeles Fleet Week.
To admit, it's pretty cool standing on the deck of the aircraft carrier. How many people think it's cool to be out here? Anybody? Oh yeah. Cool. Our next speaker has led the Navy's California Fleet Week planning since assuming command of Navy Region Southwest on the first day of LA Fleet Week 2022. He's a 1995 graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, and he was designated as a naval flight officer and served in numerous roles, including commanding Naval Station Norfolk, our nation's largest Navy base, and today is responsible for Navy shore installations for 6 Southwest states. Please welcome who I call LA Fleet Week's homegrown admiral, Rear Admiral Brad Rosen.
Thank you, Jonathan. Happy Fleet Week, everyone. It's truly wonderful to be here. Deputy Mayor Vinson, thank you for inviting the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard here to celebrate Los Angeles Fleet Week, which in just 7 years has become the gold standard of all Fleet Weeks. We're all really excited to be here and hope our participation matches your extraordinary efforts. Thousands of our sailors, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen will take part in events across the greater Los Angeles area this week, engaging with you, the public that we serve. Navy Band Southwest and the 1st Marine Division will perform concerts in neighborhoods across the greater LA area. From the Grove to Dodger Stadium to Mission Hills to Venice, Disneyland, and Angel Stadium, our uniformed service members will experience LA. We'll be volunteering on community service projects like Habitat for Humanity, serving meals to our disadvantaged neighbors, and cleaning beaches. We'll be seeing all of LA's legendary sights. We'll be at the ballpark, and we'll be observing Memorial Day ceremonies in Long Beach, Rancho Palos Verdes, and Pacific Palisades. And of course, we're going to Disneyland. Our sailors are making an impact at an extraordinarily young age, on a level rarely seen in the civilian world. At ages 18, 19, or 20 years old, they are leading their teams of their peers and overseeing multi-million-dollar equipment. With over 60 cutting-edge career fields to excel in, American sailors are the world's most adept and resilient warfighters.
Our next speaker has over 3 decades of government experience serving the harbor area and all of Los Angeles. He has probably attended every Fleet Week since beginning in 2016 and is a great supporter of the community. He also is a proud uncle of 2 nephews that serve in the Navy. Please join me in welcoming our friend, council member from the 1-5, Tim McCosker.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Tim McCosker, councilman of the 1-5, and I guess I'll say it everywhere. I'll say it here too. 1-5. We used to be the 15th council district. Now we are 1 district, 5 beloved communities. I represent Watts, Harbor Gateway, Wilmington, Harbor City, and my hometown of San Pedro. And just like folks in military service, what we try to do is we uplift every single person in our district. Everybody counts. But what does it mean to the community? It is really critically important and valuable and wonderful for my residents who may not have any military service or may not have a couple of nephews in the Navy, to be able to engage with our military branches, especially our ocean-going branches, to be with the Navy, to be with the Marines, to be with the Coast Guard. This is a community on the water. This is a community that depends upon what I call the blue economy. What allows us to have this world trade is the freedom of the seas, the protection of the ocean, making sure that those goods can move. This week is an opportunity for us to engage with you, to see your fantastic toys, to be with you as human beings, whether it's downtown over a drink or a burger, or to be on a tour with you, to see you as human beings and thank you for that service.
This view is absolutely amazing. I'm sure we're going to see Tim throughout the week at all the various events. This would not happen without the amazing partners of the Port of Los Angeles. The Port of Los Angeles is the busiest container port in North America, and it is a direct beneficiary of free and open oceans. So please join me in welcoming the Port of Los Angeles Executive Director, Gene Soroka.
Thanks, Jonathan, and welcome everyone to the Port of Los Angeles. We call ourselves America's port because the cargo, passengers, and services that traverse our complex reach each one of our 50 states and all of our congressional districts. We truly are the engine of the American economy, and it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for many of us today to stand right here on the USS Carl Vinson. It is truly awe-inspiring. On behalf of the entire Port of Los Angeles team who has joined me here today, and some who are working across this 7,500-acre expanse, I'd like to welcome our friends Rear Admiral Brad Rosen, Carlos Sardiello, and captain of this beautiful ship, Matt Thomas. I'd also like to acknowledge the hard work of the Battleship Iowa and its president, our friend Jonathan Williams, who every year makes LA Fleet Week a reality for this great port in our city and makes it just a little bit better. I think you're going to knock it out of the park this year, my friend. And we're also thrilled for the first time to welcome the United States Air Force and the California National Guard to our LA waterfront this weekend. How privileged we are to have you join us at this annual celebration, an event that just keeps growing in size and popularity every single year. When Los Angeles first began hosting LA Fleet Week back in 2016, I don't think any of us realized just how this event would evolve, how important it would be to our community, and it would become the largest celebration over Memorial Day weekend in Southern California. Over the next 6 days, we're expecting more than 100,000 guests and visitors to our waterfront. They'll have an opportunity firsthand to be up close and look at active military ships, check out dozens of military and first responder displays, and the expansive LA Fleet Week Expo, and experience daily aircraft flyovers, and simply enjoy a tremendous amount of fun with family and friends. Fleet Week is an event offered by the United States Navy at only a handful of American ports, so we're proud to be among those chosen locations year in and year out for an event that's honoring some of the real superstars in America, the incredibly brave women and men of our United States military. And finally, Captain Thomas, if you would allow us to indulge, a tradition here at the Port of Los Angeles is to present first arrival plaque and how proud we are as Americans to welcome the USS Carl Vinson today, May 22nd. Well, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Gene. I'm never going to live that one down.
Joining me is a special person, our Executive Director of the Los Angeles Port, Gene Soroka. Thank you for joining the Christina Silva Show to educate our veterans live about the importance of Fleet Week and appreciate our U.S. Navy and all the branches of the military. What is the importance of our armed forces and members that you may know that are serving?
To me, close to home, I'm the grandson, the son, and nephew of military members in my family. This is our 7th annual LA Fleet Week celebration, and it holds special meaning to us because it's held during Memorial Day weekend. to give great pause and thought to the active military service members, those who have served, and those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. Our relationship with the United States military here at the Port of Los Angeles is key to not only daily operations, but how we serve our community, those that we live and work with, that we go to school and church. This is such a tight-knit community and only made greater during this Memorial Day. Christina, it's just a privilege to have everyone here in San Pedro, California.
What would you like to say your greatest highlight of Fleet Week is?
It's seeing all the active service members who get a chance to go see Los Angeles from here in San Pedro to Wilmington. On Sunday, there'll be members that will cross the 6th Street Bridge, the iconic bridge connecting downtown to East Los Angeles. There'll be at Dodger Stadium over the weekend, and it's just the outreach of this community to save lives, to those men and women serving our country.
Thank you so much for your service live from the Los Angeles port in San Pedro and aboard the USS Vinson. I'm your host, Christina Silva, and more with Gene Soroka throughout the week and his team and all of the members of the military and helping agencies, such as Jonathan Williams, who's coming right up.
So, LA Fleet Week is much more than meets the eye. We've all seen how fun it is, all of the great expos and exhibits. But a major component of the event is an exercise and a seminar focused on what's called defense support of civilian authorities. In basic terms, it is military support of civil authorities for major domestic emergencies, law enforcement support, and other domestic activities. Leading those efforts for the City of Los Angeles is Carol Parks, an experienced emergency manager with 36 years in the career field. Today, she leads the city's efforts in coordinating response and recovery activities during times of disaster and major planned events. So please join me in welcoming Carol Parks.
Good afternoon. Carol Parks, General Manager for the city's Emergency Management Department. It is a very humbling and honorable experience to be here shoulder to shoulder with government officials, military officials, private sector, and non-governmental organizations. Truly, this is a historic day for the city of Los Angeles. And as we open LA Fleet Week 2024, I encourage all of Los Angeles to take a moment to celebrate and honor all of our military forces, especially the Navy, the Marine, and the Coast Guard, partners who have joined us for this very special annual event. We are working together, looking at our plans, looking at all of our training curriculum to make sure that we are really prepared when LA has its worst day. We will celebrate all of you today who have joined us, and we encourage you to take a moment to think about your personal preparedness. Are you and your family and your loved ones prepared for whatever the future may hold?
And our next speaker has accumulated over 4,300 flight hours in the E2C, E2D, and the FAA team, and has completed over 500 landings on a deck just like this. He's a two-time LA Fleet Week veteran, having first attended as a commanding officer of the USS Portland in 2022, and today he is the captain of the USS Vinson. Please join me in welcoming back Captain Thomas to LA for a few words.
Good afternoon and welcome aboard USS Vinson, America's favorite carrier. 2 years ago, I came to LA waterfront as the commanding officer of another ship, USS Portland, and I'm here to tell you, LA Fleet Week is the best Fleet Week in the country. I'm excited to be back, and on behalf of the 3,000 men and women who serve aboard this ship, I'd like to extend my personal gratitude to Mayor Bass, Deputy Mayor Winston, and the City of Los Angeles, Councilman McCosker, for welcoming us so warmly. Mr. Soroka and the Port of LA for hosting us, and the Fleet Week and the Battleship Iowa team for lining up an incredible week of events for us. And we invite you to come down this weekend to visit USS Vinson. We'd love to return the hospitality and give you the opportunity to see firsthand the critical cutting-edge technology and the work our sailors do, most of them between the ages of 18 and 29, to preserve the peace and respond in crisis. I am very proud of each of the sailors that I'm entrusted to lead, and I'm certain that you will when you meet them too. A big thank you again for welcoming us to LA, and we look forward to seeing you here on board the ship. Go Navy.
And Semper Fortis. I'm your host, Christina Silva, and joining me is our chief, Tom Gazy, and he's joining us on the Christina Silva Show to tell us why he's dedicated to serving. Welcome to the Christina Silva Show.
Christine, thanks, and it's great to see you today. So we're here for the 7th Fleet Week in the Port of Los Angeles.
Thank you.
You were asking me about my career.
Yes, Chief.
And so I've been in law enforcement for nearly 40 years. Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, and here at the Port of Los Angeles. And we're a community-based policing organization that also polices all 7,500 acres in the port complex in the nation's busiest container port. About 40% of the commerce that comes into the United States comes through this port. And it's a daunting and challenging task, but I work with some remarkable people, dedicated police officers, security officers, professional staff, and the Harbor Department staff that's dedicated to the port operations and protecting the Port of Los. It's a really wonderful, fulfilling experience as a human, and I can't think of anything else I'd rather.
Welcoming the USS Vinson to your port, and with all of your protecting members, what would you like to say you feel about the USS Vinson here in Los Angeles today?
Well, the Carl Vinson is one of the most respected aircraft carriers in the Navy's fleet of 11 aircraft carriers. So it's very prestigious and quite an honor to have this ship at port and get to spend time with the sailors, the crewmen, the aviators, and the executive staff on board the ship this week, and we look forward to that and serving them as well.
Thank you for taking the time to educate our veterans live about dedication to service, and we appreciate you. I am your host, Christina R. Silva, and as always, we are educating our veterans live about the cost of freedom, freedom of the seas. And we just kicked off the Los Angeles Fleet Week 2024 aboard the USS Vinson. And two important gentlemen are joining me to educate you about their roles in keeping our country free.
I am Rear Admiral Carlos Sardiello, commander of Carrier Strike Group 1 of the Carl Vinson Strike Group. This is my senior enlisted advisor, the Command Master Chief Bill. Together, we are responsible for taking care of the Carl Vinson Strike Group, a carrier and 3 or 4 destroyer cruiser escorts that go out together on deployment to ensure peace, security, stability, responding crisis, and prepared to fight in war. And the Carrier Strike Group is the most formidable weapon system, most mobile, most survivable out there. We're proud and honored to serve in that capacity.
Thank you for your service, sir, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Is there anything you would like to say to the community that's going to be joining us to encourage them about the great careers the Navy has to offer?
As a child, I went on board the USS Coral Sea in San Francisco during a fleet week. Maybe it planted a seed in my head. Lots of career opportunities in the service, should you choose to. 60 different career professions. Fly a plane, drive a submarine, drive a ship, be in cyber, be in space. It's an exciting time. I don't think we would trade it for anything else. So consider us, come and take a look. And we appreciate the community, everything that they do to support our services. And we're happy to be here to enjoy this fleet week. Thank you.
Thank you both, and Semper Fortis.